When the Treaty of Chaguaramas was signed on July 4, 1973, essentially establishing what is now known as Caricom, the idea was to facilitate the free flow of goods and services among states within the regime. The treaty also established the Caribbean Single Market and Economy, CSME, replacing the Caribbean Free Trade Association. In addition to economic issues, the community instrument addressed issues of foreign policy coordination and functional cooperation. Issues of economic integration, particularly those related to trade arrangements, were addressed in the CSME. And Dominica's Director of Trade, Mathan Walter, informed that a revised Treaty of Chaguaramas was signed in 2001 to make provisions for a number of regimes, especially those dealing with goods and services, to truly facilitate trade in an integrated way.
The benefits, because I want to move forward to the benefits of the CSME is really and truly to allow for there to be advantage being taken of opportunities within the regime. So you have persons who now can be armed with what they call skill certificate, and they can be able to move from one country to the other and engage employment. But not only the engagement of employment alone. When you come to another Caricom member state, you are automatically given a 6-month stamp, a 6-month stay, and then if it is found out that you have a skill certificate or that you are one of those persons on the list who are allowed to move within the region without the need for a skill certificate, you are given indefinite stay, and that allows you to be able to work and do business within the region.
According to Walter, it is still inconceivable that persons within the community meet with difficulty when attempting to move from one member state to another.
Persons want to come in to render service and they are held up at the border. They are asked questions that are not supposed to be asked. And to be blatantly honest with you, the spirit of the regime is to engender a community, to put in place a community. And this would mean that in the very same way that we look at the communities of Paybush and Portsmouth, and that you can be able to move from Paybush to Portsmouth without any sort of impediments, whether it be legal, whether it be administrative, whether it be procedural. The idea is to have the same thing within that particular economic space and allow Caribbean people to grow and to become more economically sufficient.
The director went on to explain that member countries were asked right off the bat to re-examine their regulations and eliminate any laws that would restrict the free flow of services.
From the inception, when the treaty came into being, one of the first things that they asked countries to do is to ensure that they remove all the restrictions, whether it was administrative, whether it was legal, whether they were procedural, whether they were regulatory, to get those restrictions removed to allow for unfettered flow of goods and services across the region. In our country, Dominica, we have gone as far as we could, except for alien landholding licenses. For example, as it relates to the way that persons are treated at the border, most persons most persons will tell you it is because some of the officers who are there are not properly trained. Some of them do not know what the Caricom rights are, what the right of the Caricom citizen is. And so he will act in that particular manner, not because of spite or anything like that. You know, they want to defend the border. They want to make sure that undesirables do not get in. But they need to balance it off with the knowledge that you have, that we are moving forward to a united a regional space, you know, a shared space.
Walter continued to stress that proper sensitization and constant education of customs and immigration officers is vitally important.